All right, continuing the electronics here. So now on wiring up the power supply to the motor controller, VIN is on the top and ground below it. So we'll just push in these two. There's our VIN and our ground. Push that in and then I'll tighten these up one at a time. There we go. Now we've got everything pretty much set. We have the wiring up here. I'll just leave that unplugged for now. So because we put this side up, you can see that we have all of our grounds, 3.3 volts, do not connect, all those. So let's get started. So on the, for your encoders, those are 3.3 volt circuits. So you'll want to connect the red wires into the 3.3. We only have, well, I guess we have two of them on there, but I like to connect both of them to the same one. That way it leaves a free 3.3 volt in the case that you do decide to add some other system on the robot. You're not going to be stuck and without a place to connect it, without disconnecting other things and all that stuff. So we'll loosen up this connector. You see there how as I'm loosening it, it's opening up. So now I've got it all the way loosened and I can install my wires. See how that kind of deforms as I push it in. So I like to twist the wires, makes them a little bit stiffer. And I can install the first one and install the second one. Make sure that you don't have any little stragglers that might bridge between that 3.3 volt and something else. Really, the power cables are the most concerning with potential shorts, as that's where you're gonna have things that might spark. However, it's still a concern for the other ones, as if something shorts for a signal wire, there's a risk of damage of components if you were sending it to high, and you're going to have bad data, so that might cause your robot to crash. So still definitely worthwhile to make sure that don't have any stray wires. So again, I'll do the same thing here, just twist them, stiffen them up a little bit, reduce the risk of having a straggler. Twist this guy. And push them into the ground. So one thing of note on this robot, typically between your motor controllers and controls, you'll need to have a ground connector. You'll note that we did not install a ground wire between the two. See, we don't need that as we're operating on a common ground with a battery. We have one battery supplying power to both the controls and the high voltage for running the motors. If we were using two separate batteries, say we had a small 5-volt battery for the Raspberry Pi and we have this 12-volt battery for the motors, then we need to run another wire between our control board and the motor controller. But in this case, thankfully, we don't need to. So now for all these other wires, just follow along the wiring guide, and it'll just be one wire per connector. And right quick and in a hurry, you'll have all these wires in the right place. And then from there, we can talk about adding those service loops and other ways to kind of clean it up. One good way is just to run wires kind of like this along here, just make it a little bit nicer. Additionally, remember that we're going to be putting on the lid, so when you put on the lid, that'll hide a lot of your wiring mess. Make sure you don't end up clogging up the fan or something like that, but just get it wired up and you guys will be good to go.